Hi, Douglas.
Hi.
I know you talked about your rejection of labels. I do think you have some conservative views, even by U.S. standards.
Sure.
As someone who's center-left, though, I find myself largely agreeing with many of them, and even the few I don't, it makes me pause for a moment. Voices like yours, I think, are surprisingly rare, particularly on the right in media today. And I think part of it is just intellectuals and more articulate folks do not want to risk having to break through the nuance of why they're not xenophobic or racist or hold bad views, and they'd rather not volunteer that information, leaving more extreme voices to fill that gap. So you talked about bridging divides and getting out of the bubble. How do you achieve that if maybe one side has a steeper price to pay for expressing their views than another?
Good question. I broadly think that all this has been made infinitely worse by social media, which is one of the reasons why I don't engage on it. As I said to Matt before, I mean, I wouldn't go out into the street and invite people to shout names at me, and then, like, if I didn't hear properly, go over to them and ask them to do it clearer. And in the same way, I don't seek out the sort of mad burlesque of the debate, or what passes for debate on social media. But it's clearly exacerbated because people on, I think, all political sides are increasingly behaving like trolls. So, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, take abortion. I've got pretty typical European views about abortion. Okay, but when you hear people talking about abortion as if, there was one like shout your abortion a little while ago, like at least concede this is a really important moral question which we have to think about seriously, and you might come to one decision, either or the other. We might be pro-choice like me, but don't just try to piss off people who are pro-life. I think pro-life, by the way, I don't like the saying, it's like the other side is pro-death, but anyhow. But you see this all over the place at the moment, on almost every issue. It's like, the people I Lena Dunham says this, so I'm going to say this. Donald Trump said this, so I'm going to run this way. And it's just clearing out all the mainstream. I gave the example of Russia, but I mean, you could do it on almost anything. People that seem to be forming political views, not because they've reasoned themselves into them, but because they want to piss off people they hate. And I just think we have to find a way to do better than this. And it comes back to this thing about not making claims about your opponents that are just demonstrably untrue.